Hey. So this is like super outside of my comfort zone, but I feel like it's finally time that I do something like this. Being vegan, I've learned that there are plenty of misconceptions about my lifestyle, and I get a lot of questions about veganism. I thought it'd be a good idea to ask my people of Facebook and Instagram if they had any questions that they'd like me to answer. So I gathered up all the questions, and today I'm going to answer them. I really want to stress a few things first. So first of all, I'm doing this video because I want my friends and family to understand this really important part of me. Veganism is such an important part of my life, and most of the time it feels like such an alien concept to the people around me. Second of all, I don't think that I'm better than anyone just because I'm vegan. Most of my life I ate animal products. I just hope that I could get some people thinking about some of the choices that they make and put some insight into some of the things that they might have just never thought of before. I really don't mean to sound judgmental or rude in any way, like if I'm coming across as that. I really am sorry. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys on everything. Third of all, there are so many things that I want to talk about with this topic. It's gonna be super hard for me to condense this all into like a 10-minute long video, hopefully. I'm really gonna try my best to make every answer as brief as possible. Definitely expect more videos like this from me in the future. Alright, enough of all that. Let's jump into the questions. Why shouldn't I eat eggs or ice cream? No one has to die to get eggs or milk. Okay, this is a great question. It's so important. Okay, so the dairy and egg industry is the meat industry, just with some extra steps. Mammals only produce milk when they're pregnant or just had a baby, right? So why do cows produce milk? To feed their babies. Dairy farmers have to constantly artificially inseminate these cows on things literally called rape racks, so that they're always as profitable as possible. Once the baby calf is born, it is immediately taken away from its mother because we want that milk. If it's a male calf, it's immediately taken away to the slaughterhouse and killed for veal most of the time. If it's a female, it'll probably have the same fate as its mother. Mind you, cows develop a really strong bond with their young, just like humans do, and they mourn, just like we do. So anyways, these cows live in really abject, terrible conditions that are filthy, small, cramped, really bad. It's miserable, and then they die at a really young age. They are abused their entire lives, and then once their bodies give out on them, they're taken to the slaughterhouse to be killed for meat. Here are some pictures and videos of dairy cows. It's really sad. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Hi baby. Hi. Oh my god, they're both moving a little bit. I also thought it was appropriate to throw in a video of an egg-laying chicken. I also just wanted to say thank you to my friend Jamie, who's also an animal activist, who sent me those videos. She actually goes out and takes videos like that, so this is real and this is actually happening. On to the egg industry. Only female chicks lay eggs, so once a male chick is born, it's immediately grinded, drowned, or gassed to death because they're not of any economic value. The egg-laying hens live in terrible conditions, often never even seeing the light of day. They're cramped into really tiny rooms. Often there are feces and other dead chickens everywhere. And this is for the free-range, cage-free eggs. All that means is that there's no physical cages. That doesn't mean that they're out in a pasture having a really happy chicken life. Trust me, that's not what it means. It's just a label designed to make the buyer feel good. Trust me, these chickens are not happy. Once they aren't in their prime egg-laying years, which is usually around 500 days old, they are then, you guessed it, killed for their meat, sent to the slaughterhouse. I'm going to include some pictures of those free-range chickens and also some of those baby chicks. Again, I'm not going to be too graphic with this, but you can use your imagination. And that is why I do not eat eggs or dairy. So it could be argued that dairy cows and egg-laying hens live a considerably crueler life than the animals that are just raised for their meat. What was the biggest challenge about going vegan? Whether it's physically, mentally, socially, etc. Believe it or not, the hardest thing about being vegan is the people. I always say the hardest thing about being vegan is the fact that not everybody's a vegan. It's honestly just really hard for me to constantly see the people that I care about and love not share the same ethical views on animals as me. I mean, this is something that I really, really care about, and just by default, most people around me aren't vegan, and I just am constantly reminded whenever they like buy a chicken sandwich or make up some scrambled eggs that they just don't feel the same about animals that I do. It's just hard. Also, I'm faced with a lot of judgment from non-vegans. And when I'm going out for a while, I need to like really make sure that I have prepared food in case there's no vegan options wherever I'm going if I'm going to be there for a while. How do you stay consistent? Every time I see a cake that looks like it would taste good but is made with dairy and eggs, I just think of the animals, honestly. I picture the conditions that the cow and the chickens had to live in to give me the eggs and milk to make that cake. And after I do that, I no longer really think that having a cheat meal is worth it. It's pretty easy to turn things down when I just remind myself of the reasons why I went vegan in the first place. Also, there are vegan versions of like everything nowadays, so if I really want a cake, I can just go to Wegmans and buy a vegan one. Are there prominent benefits that you have noticed? For example, clearer mind or more energy? Yes, 100%. There are so many amazing benefits of just eating clean and eating plant-based in general. I definitely overall feel healthier. I have more energy than I used to have, and I really feel more connected to my meals, and I feel better mentally. If anybody wants me to make a video like expanding on this, I totally can, just let me know. How do you defend your beliefs and back yourself up? I just hit people with the facts. I've been vegan for a while now, so I feel like I've accumulated a lot of knowledge on this topic, and I'm actually really proud of all the information I know about it. Being a student for an environmental related major, it's really easy for me to talk about the environmental impacts of eating a vegan diet. People just can't deny the facts. I'll also try to tell them about the potential health benefits of eating vegan, and of course, I mentioned the animals. I try to get people to make that connection themselves. Most of all, though, I try to lead with a good example. Do you make meals? If so, what are they? And if not, do you eat them packaged, Johns? I do sometimes. I mean, I'm a college student, so I feel like I make homemade meals just as much as any other college student would. But with this quarantine, I've been actually making more meals than I ever have in my life. And honestly, it's so much easier than I anticipated. I'm super relieved about it, actually. But yeah, I do eat those packaged Johns sometimes because they're super convenient. But later in the video, I'm going to show you guys some of the food that I eat, so I'll show you later. Are Girl Scout cookies vegan? Thank God, some of them are. Actually, a lot of them. There are Thin Mints, peanut butter patties, lemonades, Thanks-a-Lots, and the s'mores cookies. Those are all vegan. It's crazy. I've eaten a lot. I've eaten a lot of them. What are some hot or filling vegan snacks for when you come home drunk? Like, what's the equivalent of Domino's or pizza rolls? Okay, dude, being vegan in 2020 is amazing. Anything I would have usually eaten before I was vegan, I can now get the vegan version of. Like, I can go to Burger King and get a vegan Impossible Whopper. The brand Gardein makes some really awesome things too. They have a really good vegan Hot Pocket. A lot of places also have vegan pizzas now for like takeout with vegan cheese. Amazing. What do your toots smell like? Let's just say I eat a lot of fiber. I completely understand what's wrong with the meat world and how it can be awful. I was wondering if there are any ways that I can sustainably eat meat or what can be done from my point of view. I'm never going to tell anyone that I think it's cool and groovy to eat meat, mostly for ethical reasons, but from a sustainability standpoint, eating meat just doesn't make sense. The amount of land, water, and energy needed to make a meat meal versus a plant-based meal is incredibly higher. I'm going to include some screenshots from a research article that I had to read for one of my classes, actually. What I really like about this is the person who published it isn't trying to push any agenda, and neither was my professor. It was seriously people just being like, hey, we did some research and this is what we found. So here's some screenshots from it. So this is for the food greenhouse gas emissions across the supply chain. And if you look at the graph, you can tell that everything animal related tends to be a lot larger than anything plant related. This one is land use of foods per 1,000 kilocalories. This one is for land use per 100 grams of protein. And this one is land use per kilogram of food product. So look at the data and you tell me if you think it's sustainable. So my advice for someone like you is just to do your own research and look at the facts and the data, and the answer should be there and it should be pretty clear. Your favorite vegan meals you love to eat. Let me show you. I'm having trouble feeling full when I'm eating veggie. Any tips on feeling satisfied? Fruits and vegetables tend to be pretty low in calories, so it's really important that you eat a wide variety of foods. It could totally be possible that you're just not eating enough. Definitely making sure that you're eating protein with every meal is going to help you a lot with feeling full. So eating things like nuts, whole grains, beans, things that are higher in fiber and higher in protein, that'll definitely help with keeping you feel full. Woohoo! If you made it through this entire video, thank you. I feel really weird putting myself out there this much, but like I said, I just care about this stuff a lot. I understand it could be really daunting to make a lifestyle change like this, so if anybody feels ready to make any steps in this direction, please reach out to me. Even if it's something just like doing a meatless Mondays or just cutting dairy out, I really want to help you. Seriously though, to everybody who took the time to listen to this, thank you. This stuff really means a lot to me. All right, peace out.